MUSASA is an organization that exists to fight gender-based violence against women and girls. After having noticed that women and girls were marginalized where gender-based violence was concerned, MUSASA was set up in 1988 to respond to that call.
My name is Zimbabwe. I'm the director of MUSASA Project, which is a local Zimbabwean organization working to prevent and respond to gender-based violence. MUSASA is an organization that was formed in 1988 by two women who saw a great need and a gap where women in domestic violence situations and other situations of violence really had nowhere to go in Zimbabwe. And that is where the idea of having MUSASA as a place of refuge, a place where women could come to in the face of violence, was birthed. The mission of MUSASA is very simple. We want to see an end to gender-based violence, especially violence against women and girls. And how do we do this? We want to be able to tackle different points in society, whether it be our traditional leaders, religious leaders, women and men in the community, different standing, to be able to tackle those issues. What are the beliefs? What are the systems that perpetuate violence?
MUSASA uses various strategies in combating gender-based violence. MUSASA strategically focuses on prevention, advocacy, and response, realizing how these three tiers complement each other, but also create an enabling environment for women and girls to remain safe from violence. Some of the strategies that we also use include adaptation and learning. There is need to adapt to technology. There is need to be cognizant of issues to do with drug and substance abuse, or now they also contribute to gender-based violence. So the organization has remained over the years quite adaptive and creates an opportunity for us to learn. We use both international and national models in addressing gender-based violence, be it the SASA together, be it gender action learning systems, our community, local community tailored dialogues to converse with communities. SASA's interventions have quite been impactful at a community level and at a national level. SASA's advocacy work culminated in the passing of the Domestic Violence Act, which was quite significant. The organization has also been working with policymakers to influence and lobby for policy change, policy reform. Additionally, the organization is the first to set up community-based shelters and an urban shelter. This has enhanced access to protection services for survivors, but also ensured that they access a comprehensive package of services. The combination of having a call center, a mobile one-stop center, static one-stop center has created multiple interventions for survivors to access services. So one of the key successes has been to increase access to multi-sectorial services. Then the work with traditional leaders, influencers has significantly led to change, to reform, to behavior change in specific areas that we've been working in.
As we think about our theme, innovate, celebrate, and accelerate, I can talk a lot about what MUSASA has been doing, especially with our direct services. We were able to adapt even during very difficult conditions like COVID-19, where we came up with the mobile one-stop center model, where women and girls who had experienced violence were able to access our services even during the lockdown period. This model allowed us to take services closer to the communities, which made MUSASA accessible continuously through a very difficult time. We can talk also about our community interventions, where we have community conversations, where we work with communities to challenge the retrogressive beliefs that perpetuate violence against women. We have a recent success in Marange, which had been very well known for child marriage, where we had Chief Marange actually committing to say, I will end child marriage in my own area. And so we can celebrate a lot of those innovations because they are bringing real and tangible changes to the lives of women and girls. Women and girls who have been trapped in situations of violence are able to find a way out. Girls who have been married off at an early age are able to continue with their education, are able to see a bright future because of the innovations and the interventions that MUSASA is making in the community. And how do we accelerate this? For me, number one is we need to continue a multi-stakeholder approach. MUSASA cannot do this alone. We are saying we can come together as different stakeholders, whether it be government, whether it be private sector, or others, like-minded women's organizations, and make real and lasting changes. One of the things that we do as MUSASA is to work with community-based structures where we equip women and men in the communities to be a first line of support. For us, we see that accelerating the change because the help is available within the community. When a woman wants to escape violence, when a woman has experienced violence, she's able to find support right within her community. I believe if we continue this kind of an approach, we are able to see more gains and celebrate real change for women and girls.
In terms of the challenges that MUSASA faces, the issue of resources is always at the heart of what we do. We can only do what we do when we are resourced and capacitated to be able to do it. But looking externally, we look at systems and structures that continue to perpetuate violence. We look at the laws, what are the policies? We see gaps sometimes under implementation of laws, which makes it very difficult for us to realize a society which is free from gender-based violence. We also are living in a transformative world, a world that is ever-changing. We are looking at new forms of gender-based violence all the time. We are now talking of issues like cyberbullying, which were never there in earlier years, or were not as front and center as they are now. And so for us, the challenge is to remain relevant, remain responsive. Looking ahead for MUSASA is something that is very exciting. As MUSASA, number one is to remain the go-to organization for women and girls of all walks of life. One of the things we're looking at is how do we build our own organizational sustainability? What resources do we have at hand that allow us to be able to resource ourselves? Looking ahead also for MUSASA is to become a hub of information. MUSASA has so much data, has so much information. We want to become an institution of excellence in terms of research. We also want to become a center of excellence in terms of service provision. We want every woman who walks through our doors to feel confident, to feel that she has been helped to the best that she needed because she has come to MUSASA.
Our main services that we provide are the direct services, which are psychosocial support. Under psychosocial support, we provide counseling to the individuals, to the family of the client, the relatives. Even we have the component of the safe shelter. That is when we provide them with temporary safe shelter if it's not safe for them to go back to their homes.
My name is Priska Ferretti. I'm the shelter administrator for Harare Shelter, and it's one of the shelters among the 14 shelters that we have across the country. We admit women and girls who face gender-based violence in all different various forms. We offer direct services for them to access medical services if they need any. We also assist them with the legal advice. We provide counseling on a daily basis. We also make sure that all the clients who come to the shelter are taught life skills for them to be able to lead a normal life if they leave the shelter.
Shishwa ndinovatenda vemusasa ndakatanga kuona upenyu hwangu hwakuchinja ndakatengesa zvidhina zvangu ndakavapa ndiyo imba iyoyo yamuri kuona.
This one-stop center is the center that was established in 2014 as a response to women and girls who had to look for other services. After having come for counseling and psychosocial support at MUSASA, women needed more than one service. They needed medical, they needed legal, they needed to go and, to courts, to go and access other services. So as MUSASA, we saw the plight of women. So we decided to have this under one roof.
More part of the story of how MUSASA is transforming communities through livelihoods projects and psychosocial support.
We're going to sell our goods to the community. And the shops also, we've got schools that are surrounding us, the boarding schools.
Ndawana mari dzangu kana dzabura ndida kutanga kuzvokudini zvekuchengeta huku.
Kuona kuti zvinhu zvatiri kuita panapa zviri kutibatsira zvikuru nokuti chero tiri kumba izvi takukwanisa kuzviitira. Saka tinozvitengesa mucommunity nepano pachikoro.
vanhu vandinyatsotenda rudo rwavo rwakandiratidzira chero nanhasi vanondirangarira.
Zvototenda Mwari tochitenda nana metroni vanotibetsera vanotichengeta panguva yatete tichikochema votidzoredzera zvinhu zvoita zvakanaka. Hatizodzungairi nesango tinokokupotera kana tatambura panguva diki diki tonobatsirwa.
Tikanetsewa ndongodzokera zvekumusasa ndinoti kwamuka zvedzimwe nyaya dzekuti kuona kundibetsera futi.
MUSASA project yakandibatsira mabatsiro andakatende kuti I had nothing in hand kunze kweproblem chete ndiye ndakanga ndinayo mumaoko mangu, from shelter, kugeza, whatsoever zvinongoda manidzi emunhu ndozvandakanga ndichitiwa kuMUSASA kusvika pakapera nyaya yangu kuti tsvai.
Dzoka inini ndavakumba kwangu ndakakwanisa kushandisa zvandakanga ndaudziwa kuMUSASA zvemubati wamaoko.